Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is J Rock. Thanks for stopping in. I am so excited to start this series. It's going to be called Rebuild, Reload, or Run It Back. I would like to get through all 30 NBA teams, starting with the 76ers. I kind of want to run through whether I think they should rebuild their roster, whether I think they should reload their roster, or whether I think that they should just kind of run it back with the same exact roster they had the year prior. I wanted to start the Sixers because it just seemed like a very, very fun one to start with. But after that, I'm not quite sure. Please leave a comment in the section below what team you think I should do next. And leave a like if you like the video and a subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this in the future. So please feel free to kind of give me recommendations about teams to do and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. You'll have a nice rest of your day. The Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers are actually in a really good spot, in all honesty. Yeah, they got a lot of really big decisions to make that will ultimately impact whether they win a championship in the next year or two. But they have a few valuable pieces that they can kind of work with in a trade to rebuild the roster and bring in some really good players. They really can't run it back, and I don't think Morey will. I don't think he wants to. It's not really his style. It's not how he operates. It wouldn't go over well in Philly with the fans either. I don't think they. I think they're tired of the same roster, and I honestly think Embiid is too. It seems like he's getting a little frustrated out there. He's really tired of losing. He does want to win. So I think Embiid probably wants to see some big changes as well. They aren't really in a situation where they can just add another piece to their core. Like they don't have much salary cap space. And like adding another role player like Danny Green. That's not what pushes this team to a championship level. It's just not. It does need to be shaken up a bit more than that. They do need to flip one of their core pieces. Um, Now they have a couple options with that, right? They can either flip one of the core pieces for some salary cap relief and maybe look towards free agency to kind of build the roster a bit that way. However, the free agency class this year isn't. It's not great. There are a couple of really solid role players, right? Spencer Dinwiddie. There's Kyle Lowry. You got possibly CP, possibly Kawhi. Like it's a decent free agency, but the Sixers should probably try to flip one of their core players for another star, one that just fits better on the roster with what they're trying to do and how Amori likes to build his team. That's ultimately what I think they should do. So we're gonna run through some of their core players here, kind of talk about where they fit, if they can move them, should they move them, and stuff like that. So we're gonna start with Tobias Harris. Tobias is a very good player, like a really really good player. He's super underrated. He averaged 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists last year, almost 40% from three. He's a clutch player. He had a great playoff. He averaged 21 points and 8 rebounds in the playoffs. He made big strides on defense as well. Doc Rivers just kind of seems to understand Tobias. He kind of knows how to get the most out of him. I do think Tobias keeps improving. Again, he's a good player. The problem is he makes $36 million a year, which that's the highest on the team. That's right. Tobias Harris makes more money than Joel Embiid, who is a perennial MVP candidate, and Ben Simmons, who is there, who also has a large contract. Like Tobias makes more money than he does this year, which is crazy. So for that, I don't think they can really trade him, at least for anything that will be well worth it for them. I think the best case scenario for the Sixers is Harris keeps improving under Doc. Um, because again, he does work well with Embiid. He does do what the Sixers need him to do. Um, he just doesn't really do $36 million worth of stuff, but he is a good player. Moving on to Embiid, who for my money is the best all around center in the league. I know that Jokic won the MVP, but if Embiid doesn't go down with injury, he's probably the MVP of the season. He averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, block and a steal a game. He's a great player, dominant player. This is the kind of guy you build around, right? This is the guy you build your franchise. This is your franchise player. He did make an All NBA team this year, so he is eligible for a Supermax, which the Sixers will reportedly offer him, and he'll probably pick up. I would assume so. He seems to be happy in Philly. He seems to like it in Philly. He fits well with the fans and stuff. Like he has a personality, and Beach is great. He has a few injuries in his career, which is the big knock on him. But he is a warrior, right? He will play through injuries. He will give everything he has. He does care about winning. He is the franchise player for the Philadelphia 76ers. They can't trade him, right? Imagine how Philly would react if Morey trades Embiid and keeps Simmons. Like that, he wouldn't be able to show his face in Philly again. Embiid is great. Build around him, and then figure it out from there. That leaves one. That leaves Ben Simmons. This is not going to be a Ben Simmons sucks rant. This is going to be trash Ben Simmons talk. Like Ben Simmons is a hell of a basketball player. He really is. I like Ben Simmons a lot. He's only 24 years old. and people are acting like he's broken and can't be fixed. The guy made another All Star team. He's an All NBA defender. He really should have won the Defensive Player of the Year over Gobert. He put up 14.7 rebounds, 7 assists. Uh, he can average a triple double a year. I could see that happening in his future. Like the problem with Ben Simmons isn't really with Ben Simmons; it's the situation that he's in. It's just not the right fit for him. And honestly, it would be best for all parties involved for him just to move on. Here's the issue the Sixers run into this offseason is his value is at an all-time low. You got NBA GMs talking about how broken he is. You got his own coach saying he doesn't know if he can be a point guard on a championship team. Like that's not a good look. Now Maury is a fantastic GM, and he's already starting the campaign to try to build that market back up by saying he views Simmons as a core piece and doesn't necessarily want to trade him. I'm gonna be honest with you that that was probably said to make them seem less desperate to trade him, and hopefully build that value back up. But Simmons probably won't be back in Philly next year. Their options are basically trade Ben Simmons or just run it back with the same team. Again, their salary cap is in not a good spot. Danny Green is a free agent, so he'll be gone. He made $15 million last year. Even if he comes back, I doubt his contract will be anywhere near 15 million. Korkmaz is a free agent who I think they should bring back. He's a shooter. He'll probably be pretty cheap. George Hill has a non-guaranteed contract for next year. He made $10 million. So again, if he comes back, it'll be less than $10 million. But even with those moves, they really don't have much flexibility to go out and just sign anybody. That would be a big enough impact on the team to really push them over the hump. They do have good young players, right? Tybo and Maxi. Tybo is a great defender, all NBA defender. Like he barely plays, and dude is absolute stud on defense. The problem is he only shot 30% from three, which not ideal, not good, especially for a team that really needs that shooting. And then Tyrese Maxey, he's also a really good player, but he doesn't really have an outside shot. He's got to develop that to really be a bigger part and really help the Sixers more because they need shooting. Um, and Philly fans may not like to hear this because fans love their young players, but their championship window is much sooner than waiting for Typel and Maxi to hopefully develop a shot. If like the chance comes up to throw them into a trade by themselves or maybe with Simmons to really get a good all-star caliber player back, then they should absolutely do it. Like waiting for those two guys to develop is not the gameplay, right? It's not the plan. If the chance arrives, they need to take it and really find a better piece that can help the team right now, instead of a couple years in the future. If they both develop a jump shot, I'm not going to do trade machines for Ben Simmons, but the Sixers should really wait for the right offer. Don't sell short, and again, don't feel bad if you throw in Tybull or Maxi to really push that trade deal over and get a big name player. Um, they really need a guard, one that's on the perimeter, um, like somebody that can just shoot. They need all the shooting they can possibly find. Someone like CJ McCollum would be a great option. He averaged 23 points last year, shot 40% from three. He's the kind of player they should really target. They're not gonna be able to get Dame for just Simmons, but someone like CJ, like he would be a really good pickup for the Sixers. Or again, in that same vein as Brogdon, right? So the Sixers said no with the Brogdon trade, so they really set that market right. It's gonna take more than a fringe all star to really get this trade done. Um, so I'm sure they'll get more offers, but somebody in in that vein, right? McCollum, Brogdon, um, maybe even something crazy like Con Sexton, right? Just somebody like that who's right under like a superstar, but a bit more than just a fringe all star. Is really what they should look for. But ultimately, build around Embiid. Find all the shooting you can. You kind of stuck with Tobias Harris, but not the end of the world. Again, their roster's not in a terrible place, but find somebody that fits your team better than Ben Simmons. Find a good trade for him and then kind of go from there. So that is what I think the Sixers should do. Um, yeah, that pretty much sums that up. Let me know down in the comment section below if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, and let me know what team I should do next. I had a lot of fun doing this video, and I'm not sure what team to do next with this, but leave a comment below and let me know. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.